What happens when the Federation falls? What happens when the warp travel dies and the only surviving starship is the last flicker of hope in the galaxy? Let's talk about it in this video. Hello, everyone. Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, we're going to be doing a review for Star Trek The Last Starship #1. This is a new book from IDW. We're going to break down the story, the creative team. We're going to talk a little bit about how I enjoy this comic book, and then, of course, what this could mean for the future of Star Trek comics, along with checking out some of the variant covers. So, let's talk about the creative team first. This is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. Uh, very much well known right now for their ambitious Star Trek runs like Star Trek Year 5 and Defiant, and then, of course, a lot of their Marvel work, including their run on Captain America, Thunderbolts. This is with art by Adrian Bonilla, colors by Heather Moore, and this is just such a really interesting dive back into this book. This isn't just another Trek comic book, it's a reinvention by a team that I think clearly wants to push Star Trek storytelling into uncharted territory, which really kind of feels like the mandate of any good Star Trek story. In this book, the warp core across the Federation space go inert, causing massive destruction. Starfleet and the Federation collapse after 700 years of stability. Only one ship remains, the USS Omega. The crew, we have Captain Delacour Sato, First Officer Wowie Carter, Valkis, Hana, who is the Bajoran officer. But the big twist on this one is that James T. Kirk is back in a galaxy that barely remembers what the Federation stood for. Now, this is a very interesting setup. We're gonna immediately just ask, what does Starfleet even mean when the stars themselves feel dead, when travel doesn't feel like it normally does? What is there even left to explore? Is there even a mission still left here? But I think this is a bold reimagining of Trek, very inviting for new readers because you don't really have the barrier of entry of like having to keep up with a lot of this continuity. Um, it's just a really good looking book. It's moody. The art feels very cinematic in a lot of places, especially when you get those big splash pages. And it's definitely very accessible, which I think it's the highest mark on this. Sometimes a lot of these books are just steeped in continuity and they really put a barrier of entry on a new audience. But even myself, who is not really a Star Trek reader, I've been reading some stuff recently, like Red Shirts. I think IDW is doing such a good job of just giving the fans and giving readers an opportunity to kind of come in with this. Now, I will say I'm sure that there's a lot of fans that are a little wary of bringing back Kirk, but this is a slow start. It's a lot of heavy world building, so I'm not too worried that I trust the creative team just from their previous works that all this will kind of fall into place. So it's really cool. Now, all this, I think, happens before Star Trek Discovery. There are some teases of the Borg, maybe in a new role. There's really a lot of avenues that I think the comic book poses. I like that the crew is very just diverse, which is very much updated to reflect the world of today. But I think the litmus test is really going to be, can Kirk's ideals still survive in an era that is completely different and maybe even broken? I think Star Trek: The Last Starship is daring, is very atmospheric and cinematic, and it asks a lot of big questions and really puts itself all out there as it reintroduces the Trek legends in a different galaxy, in a fracture world, as it tries to push the franchise into different, more deep, and maybe darker even waters. If you're a longtime fan of this, I think you will find plenty of lore. But if you're brand new, this could be the Trek comic that finally hooks you into reading this. So let's go check out some of the variant covers for this book, and then we'll wrap up the video. All right, here we have the main cover for The Last Starship. This is by Francesco Francavilla. We also have this 1 in 15, the without the trade dress, without any of the lettering or anything like that. We also have this 1 in 25 Michael Cho variant where we can see some of the crew, including Kirk. We also have this really cool Skylar Patridge who's doing fantastic work over at Superman Action Comics. Make sure to go check that out. We also have this Michael Cho. This will be the foil variant with the trade dress and the name and everything. We also have, of course, a blank variant so you can draw yourself something or maybe get a commission from one of your favorite artists at the upcoming convention. And then, last but not least, this looks to be like the local comic book day 2025 by Malachi Ward, who is a fantastic artist. My buddies over at I Read Comic Books recently had Malachi. I'll try to put a link to the description, a link to that episode on the description. So make sure to go check it out. And then here we are back at the main cover. So let's wrap up. If you read this comic book, what did you think of Captain Kirk's return? Is this the right way to honor the legacy, or should Star Trek try to move forward without bringing him back, or maybe even other legacy characters? Who could they bring back? Who would you like to see in this? Or who is the newest member of the crew that has become an instant favorite for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and engage Warp Drive on that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our other videos or our live streams over the weekends. And of course, let me know what cover you picked up. So thank you very much for watching. Live long and prosper. Bye bye.